You know it's right. It's Open Mic Radio, 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon. It is time for some live rock and roll music right here at the KOPN studios. We're going to get it rolling with one from our featured artist today. Here we go. It's the Boone Howlers.
Write you a letter tomorrow. Tonight I can't hold a pen. Someone got a stamp that I can borrow. Promise not to blow the address again. Lights they flash in the evening through the hole in the drain. Jesus rides beside me, never buys any smokes. Hurry up, ain't you had enough of this stuff? Ashtray floors, dirty clothes and filthy jokes. See you high and lonesome. Try and you try and you try. Lights they flash in the evening through the hole in the drapes. I'll be home when I'm sleeping, 'cause I can hardly wait. No, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Thank you. That's an old bluegrass tune from Minneapolis.
How about that? All right, everyone. Welcome to the program. It's Open Mic Radio on KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM. We got the Boone Howlers in the studio with us this afternoon. And good to have you with us, all right? It's a lovely, another summer weekend with the sunshine. You know, the rain is just hard to find. We had a little bit, I guess, out west where I live in the last week or so, but I always say it's another sunny, hot weekend in mid-Missouri, and yes, it is again. So hope you're enjoying it out there, though. Lots of you always out there in the Columbia area, and hope you're enjoying it. All right, we are down here at the brand new KOPN studios, 401 Bernadette Drive in Columbia, enjoying our new digs down here, and looking forward to the afternoon and the show. So 573-443-8255 if you want to join us. Give us a call, say hi. Maybe you had some fun last night. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you're going to do something tonight. There may be a lot going on. You know, I'm minus my friend Kurt this afternoon. Kurt and the gang are up in Chicago at Wrigley Field watching the Cardinals whoop up on the Cubs. You know, I'm a Chicago guy too, so that's a little rough for me, but it's hard for me to say here in the middle of Missouri in Cardinal country. But I don't know, it was fourth or fifth inning, and I think it was 3-1 Cards. But when I left Booches,
They did okay in London.
yeah, Cubs actually looked pretty good overseas. We should keep them there, maybe.
They're better jet lagged.
Right. Anyway, I hope things are well for you out there, okay? We're on the web, kopn.org. My name is Mike Hagan. This is Open Mic Radio. We do this pretty much every Saturday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. We do live music with some of Columbia and Mid-Missouri's finest musicians and bands, no doubt about it. Today is the same. We've got the Boone Howlers with us this afternoon, Travis and Chris and Jim with us, and looking forward to some music, and we'll have a little conversation, and the phones will be open. So 573-443-8255 if you want to join the program here or become a part of it at least. That'll get you right here into the studio with us, 573-443-8255. Also 573-443-7380. Either one of those will we'll get you here to the studio and you can chat with me and the band. I'd like to say thanks to Memphis Chris for helping setting things up a little bit earlier with the sound. We got Clark in the house with us as usual. That was a lot of fun last week, Clark, with the show that we actually didn't have like a formal guest. Of course, Kurt. Kind Kurt, who normally does the opening and closing music and kind of provides a little camaraderie along the way. I always forget what a talented musician he is, and he played a bunch of original stuff last week, and just really enjoyed the music that Kurt played. So anyway, sure love doing this, and glad that you're all enjoying it as well. I appreciate the feedback. I get some funny and sometimes, most of the time, they're friendly emails about the show. Not always, but most of the time, really. I bet it's 95%. Once in a while, I get a really mean one. They're like, "You guys suck."
You're gonna get a lot of mean ones after.
You know what it is, honestly, and I get it because I know the way I am. But most of the time, it's that I talk too much. They're like, "You should just shut up and let the guys play more music." So anyway, I get it, and I'll do my best to zip it and let the guys play music today. All right, so. Anyway, I am really excited to have the Boone Howlers with us this afternoon in the studio. They visited with us a couple weeks ago, actually. In sort of a semi-permanent form, I guess. We had Chris and Jim were here maybe 3 weeks ago, I think it was, and they were joined by Paul Meyer, who's a friend and another real talented musician and bass player around these parts. I think Travis is more of a regular with the band, I guess I should say. Yeah. But we're going to get to that in a little bit here. We're going to learn a lot about the Boone Howlers this afternoon, and if they're willing to share. And we're going to get a bunch of live music from them as well. And I will also tell you that before we get to the music, thank you to TK and Peter Rabbit on the one mic, doing things from 2 o'clock till 4 o'clock. Great groove music and always good hip hop. And coming at you from 2 to 4 with one mic. Okay, before that, Morgan and a Motherland Jam. If you like music from what do they call it? The global south? Actually, it's mostly just Africa, but across the continent of Africa, Morgan Matsiga does a most amazing radio show from noon to 2 every Saturday afternoon. It's called the Motherland Jam, and you get incredible music from all across the country or the continent of Africa. I think he played 14 different countries today. I think we had music from, but just wonderful stuff from Morgan. He's a native of Zimbabwe himself, the former Rhodesia. And I'll tell you what, a lot of the people that you hear on Motherland Jam are actually people that Morgan knows. He's actually quite familiar with some of these artists from the African continent, and just a wealth of knowledge of some remarkable music. So check that out, noon to 2 on Saturdays, all right? We do it from 4 to 6, 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock. Rashumba and reggae party coming at you, all right? Get your dancing shoes on, pop yourself a red stripe, roll yourself a big fat Bob Marley, and enjoy the great reggae sounds that Rashumba brings you, all right? That's roots, rock, and reggae, the best of it, right here in mid-Missouri, KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM, 8 to 11 tonight. Blues on Broadway. Chris, I mean, incredible stuff, actually. If you like blues music, I mean, you got 3 hours of stuff that you will not hear on the radio. Trust me, you are not going to hear the stuff anywhere else. Chris also does some... he's pretty good with requests. So if you want to hear some great blues music and get in on the show as well, check in with Chris, 8 to 11 with Blues on Broadway, okay? Great stuff here, KOPN, around the clock. Keep it dialed, all right? Okay, on the web, kopn.org. My name is Mike Hagan. It's mikehagan.com. If you want the podcast, you can subscribe to that, and then you won't miss any of these fantastic radio programs. And okay, that's all. And we're gonna get some music now. So maybe a couple now from the Boone Howlers, and then we'll come back and we'll do a proper interview and find out a little bit about these gentlemen who are making cool music here in mid-Missouri. All right? Okay, Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia. You guys want to do one for us here?
Yeah, this is original. It's more of a folk tune. Travis and I are cousins, and this song I wrote it about our grandfather. I don't know if all these things are true. He told it to us. There's no one to not deny it, so we're going to go with it's probably true, right, Travis?
Sure, why not?
It's called Western Winds.
I love it. Open Mic Radio. Boone Howlers.
Bill
was born, just an open sky. Learned to ride a horse at the age of 5. And whiskey from an old mule trough. When he was a boy, well, he stuttered when he talked. In the West, no fence to hold you in. You just roll along with that blowing wind. Bill found a coyote, kept him for a dog. Learned to ride a horse at the age of 5. He danced through the loops of a rope with one hand while he rose some smoke. In the West, no fence to hold you in. You just roll along with that blowing wind. Bill ran a whiskey in an open airplane. Up and down the coast, they all knew his name. Got called, helped dig a grave. Drank a jug of wine and he never got paid. In the West, no fence to hold you in. You just roll along with that blowing wind. Mesa skyline, desert sun, crimson and blue bleeding into one. Rain stopped falling, never got enough. Dirt went dry and it turned to dust. Bill just rode away from open sky. When he did, well, a piece of him died. In the West, no fence to hold you in. You just roll along with that blowing wind. Mesa skyline, desert sun, crimson and blue bleeding into one. In the West, no fence to hold you in. You just roll along with that blowing wind.
Yeah.
Let's have another one.
Let's do There He Lies. So you want 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There he lies, no one knows him. Of this life, the things he's done. And all the truth, it is his sleeping, while the world keeps moving on. Can't remember the words he said to me. I can still hear them ring. Western winds no longer blowing. All the stones turned into dust. Town once known, it's now forgotten. And all its dreams have been lost. Can't remember the words he said to me. I can still hear them ring. That was so long ago, seemed like a dream. Never took time to know what did it mean.
warning. Cross over, then all is gone. In the end, are there answers? Stories told still linger on. Can remember the words he said to me. I can still hear them ring.
All right, there you have it, the Boone Howlers. All right, and yeah, live in the studio with us this afternoon. We've got Travis and Chris and Jim, and we are going to say hello to these gentlemen and find out what is the skinny with the Boone Howlers. I guess we'll start left to right here, Mr. Travis. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir. You?
I'm really good. I'm enjoying myself this afternoon. I appreciate you coming down.
Absolutely.
Travis, where are you originally a Colorado or Columbia, Missouri guy, or?
No, I'm a Sedalia, Missouri guy.
Sedalia, okay.
Smithton, actually, if you know where that's at. But yeah.
Okay, and you've been in Columbia for how long?
I'm not in Columbia. I'm still in Sedalia.
Yeah, he lives in Sedalia in his mind.
I drive up here to hang out with these guys.
I see. Okay, all right. So, any what's happening in Sedalia these days? You got a guy over your left shoulder here, who is a big part of the Scott Joplin Ragtime Festival that they do in Sedalia every year, and that's an outstanding,
very big deal.
Remarkable
People from all
festival.
over the world come to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you? You're familiar, obviously.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. What's so what do you do in Sedalia? Do you mind me asking if you're not playing music? Or?
I'm the executive director of an agency that does case management services for individuals with disabilities.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
We do that work in 4 different counties.
Okay. Very cool. All right, Chris, your background. You're a Missouri guy or no?
Yeah, I grew up in Smithton. Travis and I are cousins.
So you're Travis, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've known each other for a long time.
All right. Cool.
Long
and still friends.
And still get along most times.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
I moved over here to Columbia. I work for MFA. I buy and sell stuff for MFA, and I started there in '95, and then moved to Columbia in 2002. But Travis and I started doing open mic nights. Gosh, when was that? '97, Travis, in Sedalia?
Yes, give or take.
So we've had different groups off and on over the years. And then when I moved here, I met Jim. I go to the United Methodist Church downtown, Missouri United Methodist.
What a beautiful place.
Oh, I think it's the largest pipe organ in the state.
That's right on 9th Street there at Locust, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
right
gosh,
across from Shakespeare's.
Beautiful property, beautiful church.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Jim and I met there. We were in a small group thing together, and we had a lot of common interest. He played guitar, I played guitar. He was a runner.
Kind of funny how our paths have kind of crossed. I think we may have been destined to kind of run into each other at some point in time.
You can move that, Jim. Grab it, make it go where you want.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah,
Good.
so,
Good.
But I think the first time Chris and I met, we didn't even realize it. It was back in 1997. We had the St. Pat's 5K downtown, and we finished right next to each other.
I want it on record. I beat him that day. Okay, I came in 1 second ahead of him. He was right behind me. That's the last time that's happened because Jim's fast.
Wow. So you like cross country running?
Yeah, I ran cross country in high school, and I still use the trail just about every day.
Yeah, my oldest son was a cross country runner at Hickman, and my youngest son is a soccer player. So they both put some miles in for sure. So.
And I was trying to think, what was it, like 2002 or 3? When did Palin Music open up? Their first store downtown.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Area. But they had a grand opening event there where they had some guitars and they were giving away in sales. And I was telling Chris, I was there for that grand opening. I was standing in line in the hot sun, about 50 people back, and you were there too.
I was about the third person because that's when I bought that 12-string Dan Electro.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we had played the night before, so it was really, really hot to me that day. But I got up and suffered through it, and I got that guitar. So we were in the same line again, didn't know each other. But then we started playing. Travis played with us. We did some stuff off and on. And then about 2000, 2010, with a couple other guys that have since retired, we started the Boone Howlers, and we've been doing it since then. And we recorded.
And Jim, hold on.
Go ahead.
Jim, where are you from originally, though?
St. Charles area, just outside St. Louis.
St. Charles.
Yeah, I went
Okay.
to, through high school there, went to Mizzou, and been in Columbia pretty much ever since.
Okay. All right.
He's an engineer.
Is that what you do for? Is that what you do like as a profession? What type of engineering?
Chemical engineering.
Wow.
So,
Damn. You got some brains in the studio this afternoon, gentlemen.
I'm pretty good imposter, I think.
Okay, I'd like to know a little bit about your musicianship and like when you started playing instruments, and like, are you professionally trained, or you got a good ear, or did you learn on your own, or Travis, when did you get into music?
I've been involved in music since junior high. Played trumpet in high school, sang in all the choirs
I love the
and all that
trumpet.
stuff.
Not enough
and then,
trumpet, by the way.
Went to State Fair Community College and got scholarship money to play and sing there. And then on to Missouri Valley, where I got some scholarship money to play and sing there. And then, after college, after starting a real job, Chris moved back to Sedalia for a little while, and we started playing drums.
Were you playing bass back then, like in college and stuff?
I think I did start on bass with our first little group that played one gig.
The Smithton State Fair.
The Smithton Fair, yeah.
Indian Summer.
I moved on from there to play. I play guitar, and I play mandolin now, harmonica, drums.
Wow.
I just got a banjo, so I got to learn how to play that. And I have a mean recorder. I have an actual pear wood recorder that I
good
can
harmonica
wail
player.
on. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I love it. All right, Chris,
So,
what about you with instruments and musical background? You got family? Let me back to you, Travis, real quick. Family musicians? Your dad, your mom, uncles, or anything like that?
My mom always sang, but not in an organized fashion. My sister's a very good singer, and we have I have a group in Sedalia called the Huckleberries.
Cool.
It's myself, my wife, and my sister Stacy, and she's got quite the powerful voice.
You're doing what kind of music?
Well, we're likely to play I'll Fly Away, followed by Crazy Train. Matter of fact, I think we did that last night. We were at Pierpont last night.
I love the Pierpont
And,
story. That's
I
cool
think
what they've done over there, right?
We actually did something like that last night. So.
Okay. All right, Chris, back to you.
Oh, so, yeah, we grew up in Smithton, and we were fortunate. We had a really good music program there. We had a good band director, Mr. Janes, and when he retired, we really got an even stronger guy, Dennis Taylor. And Travis played trumpet, and then I played trombone.
First year, my freshman year, by the way.
Yeah. Then I started playing bass trombone, and we were in jazz band together. And he was a great guy. He was only there for a couple years, but remember we went up to see. He took us to a clinic in Warrensburg, and we saw Woody Herman there, and his
Woody
young
Herman and the Thundering Herd.
young Thundering Herd. So then after that, maybe when I was in senior in high school or so, I wanted to play guitar, and so I'm self-taught, and then showed what little I knew to Travis, and that's how we got started, and then we've been
Which means I'm self-taught as well.
Twice removed, right?
You learned 3 chords,
I'm just saying.
But
And so the Boone Howlers have been around for
since 2010.
2010. Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's when we started.
And so you and Travis sort of original. Jim, when did you join the gang?
Same time.
Okay, so pretty much same time. All right.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think these are it.
Yeah.
This is how it started, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, a couple of the other guys that have since retired, they were guys that lived in town that I got to know, and we were at Roots and Blues. And to make a long story short, I got down there and got a free ticket. And I looked at the other guy, Mark, and I said, "Hey, more money for beer." So it was a nice night. We were like, "Hey, we ought to start a band." Well, I knew a drummer, and a little bit later ran into Brian.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I know some other guys, and that's kind of how we got started. And, we did things off and on. It's, been 5 of us, 4 of us, 3 of us, up and down. But that's when we started, yeah.
Okay. All right. your background, Jim,
Yeah, so
musically.
similar. We all have similar backgrounds. I play
You know,
trumpet and band.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. I am not happy with the way that this microphone is working. I think we've got a technical thing, so it's not you. It's so I'm gonna have you share that one with Chris for a second.
How's that? Is that better?
Much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, kind of a similar background. I started on trumpet in junior high. I was in band for a while. I always had an interest in guitar though. And then had a friend. I was 18. He was leaving, going to college, and he had an old classical guitar. And said, "Hey, do you want this for $20?" And I said, "Yeah." So I started off on classical guitar. And
so you were playing guitar before banjo? And all that.
A lot of finger picking stuff. James Taylor, John Denver.
Oh my gosh, I love that stuff too. Still love that stuff.
Yeah,
that James Taylor stuff. I mean, the early James Taylor is still remarkable, just amazing. Yeah. Songwriting and
I kind of got into that, and then started playing more acoustic, and then electric. And it was just about, I'd say about 12 years ago now, I really started getting into banjo. So I had a banjo back when I was, I think, 24 when I kind of bought my first one, but just it kind of stayed in the corner for a long time before I finally decided to pick it up. But when I was playing that finger picking style, I actually moved back to, I was out of Columbia for about a year or so for work, moved back, and met up with Lee Ruth. And so I took lessons with him for
remarkable player,
I'd say about 4 years, and he's
a legend here in mid-Missouri, actually.
He's still around, right?
Oh yeah, Lee's still here. He still does his radio show. It's called Radio Omega, I believe, and it's in the middle of the night still. I don't know how he does it, but what is it? Is it Monday nights or no? It's like Wednesday night, I think, middle of the night. Anyway, I should know, but Lee Ruth's still going at it. And, he's taught so many people so much about music and life, actually, here in Boone County for so many years. That's cool. You got to play with Lee.
Yeah, and there's a real nice mural of Lee that they have down by the dive bar. I don't know if they've moved it around a little bit, but it was down there a couple years ago when we were out there playing.
It was this year is the 50th anniversary of KOPN's existence on the airwaves, and about a month ago we had sort of a weekend celebration, just kind of celebrating the whole thing, and a lot of reminiscence, and a lot of people that had been involved in the station years ago kind of showed up, and but there was somebody, I forget what exactly it was, but there was almost like a documentary that I think maybe Kevin Walsh was involved in it. But anyway, they did a big long thing about Lee Ruth and the stuff that he's been involved with and done over the years. It's really pretty remarkable. So.
Well, they had a really nice tribute CD and album they put together. It's probably been 20 years now, but. I don't know if you remember that or if you're familiar.
I don't. No.
They did songs of Lee Ruth or something like that.
It's all his original songs, but they had local artists that covered the songs.
Cool. I love when they do that type of thing.
And I think they recorded it with Barry. I think it did, right, or something.
Quite
like
a few
that,
people. Yeah. But I should give a shout out to Derek Lenhart too with Ironweed Bluegrass Band.
Sure, Ironweed, fantastic.
Took lessons with him for about 8 years. COVID hit, and just haven't picked it up since then. But he's taught me pretty much everything I know on banjo.
All right.
Well, he played fiddle for us.
That's right. Some of the songs that we've recorded, some of our originals, he played with us in the studio.
Well, and we do have some original or some recorded music as well that maybe we can share with the listeners sometime this afternoon.
Sure.
We're doing mostly a live thing, but I'd love to sneak in a couple of recorded ones if you guys have something that you'd like to share. So, we'll think about that in a minute or two. All right. Okay. So, style of music. It's sort of hard to. I don't know. I'm thinking about the Boone Howlers. I'm like, you kind of do a rockabilly thing, you kind of do a bluegrass thing, you kind of do a early country thing. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff mixed in there. How would you describe the project, or what are you aiming for, Chris?
I think that we just play good music. No, I mean, to me, to Travis, we always grew up on that kind of stuff. Country music, rockabilly, it's all out of the same, place.
Kind of comes from the same place, yeah.
I just finished reading a book about Ralph Peer. Are you familiar with Ralph Peer? Mm-hmm. And, he was the one that recorded Jimmy Rogers and the Carter Family.
Yeah. The only reason I'm familiar with him is because of Big Cat Matt
Yeah, we played his show
and
one time,
Rockabilly
yeah.
Corner, who you guys, in fact, I heard you years, maybe been a couple of years. I think you've been on there in his show maybe more than once.
Yeah, back in the old studio. Yeah.
But anyway, for those unfamiliar, Big Cat Matt, Rockabilly Corner, that happens here at KOPN. In fact, we share this 4 to 6 slot with Matt. He does it the second Saturday of every month.
Oh.
I get a week off, and he does the Rockabilly show. But if you're into that kind of music, and I'm telling you, Matt really knows it inside and out, and he's sort of a savant like that. But yeah, I've learned a lot about
Ralph
that
Beer,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
you should read the book. It's really interesting. He really did artists a favor, and that he got them their publishing, and paid them.
Oh my gosh, yeah, such a
And
big deal.
it
People
really
think
set the
there's so much
track
of an
for-
advantage that gets taken of people. And if you're not familiar with the music industry out there, I mean, artists have just historically been so taken advantage of. I think
Well,
by these big companies for sure.
He was one that they were hill people or they were poor people, and that was really, like, for the Carter family, that was life changing, and for Jimmy Rogers as well. But he also was the first guy, Travis, I didn't realize this, but Louis Armstrong.
Oh, really?
He helped kind of get his solo thing started. He was really good friends with Louis Armstrong's first
Really?
wife, and so Louis Armstrong played on Jimmy Rogers' album. It is really interesting, all the different kinds of music that Jimmy Rogers really did. You think of him as just the yodeling brakeman, but he had Hawaii guitar, steel, ukulele, fiddles, violin. I mean, it's really pretty diverse. But anyway.
Yeah, amazing, cool.
Yeah. So in that vein, we just like those kinds of music and good songwriting, whether it's.
So if I was going to ask about influences, we already covered that just now. Right? I mean, those are the kind. Those are the
we
kind
haven't
of.
even talked about the Beatles or
Right.
Sex Pistols.
the Sex Pistols, Hank Williams,
The Dead Kennedys.
Ted Kennedy's. Travis and I grew up in the age with punk rock, and like a lot of those punk rock guys, man, they like X. John Doe, he had a side project that was called the Knitters. So they were either doing punk one night or they were doing country.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dwight Yoakam used to open for X in L.A., when he was playing that Hillbilly stuff. Yeah, can you imagine that?
Some of our favorite artists today were actually punk rockers in the 80s.
Yeah.
And today they play an alternative country sort of sound. Alejandro Escovedo being probably the premier in my particular world anyway.
I was just watching a documentary on the Go-Go's, and they went up to see the Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
And they were great songwriters.
Hey, what was it?
That
Belinda
first album was
Carlisle and
killer.
that first
Yeah.
record was really. I mean, talk about writing hook songs. I mean, they figured that out. So
They were the first all-female group that played all their instruments, that wrote their own songs, and had their debut album.
now I
at
have to say
number
I
one.
preferred the Bangles.
The Bangles.
I
That's
preferred
true.
the Bangles over the Go-Go's, but close
anyway,
enough.
they went up to see the Sex Pistols, and Travis the Nuns opened at that show, and so it was up there, and Alejandro Escovedo was in the Nuns.
Holy
Yeah.
holy cow!
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we've seen Alejandro, I don't know, 15, 20 times live.
That's awesome.
At least all over the place.
Yeah.
Chicago, was I in Chicago?
Here, some of the best ones were here back
Yeah,
in
they were back at Mojo's.
Mojo's, yeah.
All right, you guys. I'll tell you what. I have a few more things I want to talk to you about, but let's slip a couple songs in here. Let's play a recorded one because I'm going to take care of this microphone thing that we've got going with Jim
Okay.
here. So let's play something off of. Well, I don't know what.
What do you got queued up there? What's the first album you got?
I've got some stuff from 2019 that you've
Okay.
done. I mean, I've got.
List off a couple of titles there.
Oh, Short and Sweet, Sack Full of Dice.
We're going to do Sack Full of Dice later.
I've got Nothing Left. I got Old Joe Clark.
You got Remember?
Let's see if I do. I do. Yes.
Let's do that one.
Yeah,
Give
yeah.
a little background on it real quick before you.
Grab that other mic, please, Jim. Yeah. No.
I'll give you a little background on that real quick. It's a song that Chris wrote, and we actually had some guest musicians come in for us on that song as well. I don't know if you remember.
The one that we're going to play, this one called Remember?
Yeah, Craig Cleaver. He's been in several bands here in town. He's a really interesting guy. He's teaches at the engineering school, and Sally does subcontract work for NASA.
Huh.
And he does rocket trajectory calculations.
Cool.
So on this song, you're going to hear a true rocket scientist, okay?
Very cool.
We got that going for us.
I love it. All right, we're going to hear one with rocket scientry from the Boone Howlers. This is a song called "Remember." What's the when was this written? When is it on a record? What's the story?
Yeah, it's on. It came out in 19. Yeah, and we recorded it at Will Reeves' place, Intro. Cellar
Sure,
Studio.
Will's a great friend of the program and personally of mine. He's a wonderful dude and a great musician himself.
Oh, he is.
In fact, he's got a project called Penny Marvel that's kind of getting back at it a little bit over the last year or so. And I love what Will does.
He's fantastic to record with. If anyone wants to record in the area, I highly recommend him.
Well, he's so many of the people that have come through this or have been here with me on this radio program have worked with Will. You know, we're really fortunate. We got all kinds of talented people around here. We got all kinds of, you know, for a town the size of Columbia, we've got a bunch of great studios and sound engineers and yeah, I mean, we really got some good stuff going on here.
There's so much cool history, you know, around Columbia's music. We can talk about that in a little bit too.
Maybe we will.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's do this. So we'll play one from the Boone Howlers. This one's called "Remember." I'm going to work on a technical thing here, and then we'll come back in a few minutes with the Boone Howlers. All right. It's Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM. Find us on the web at kopn.org. All right.
Out ahead, shorter than the one behind. I have been a lot of places, seen many faces in my time. I can remember a feeling so tender to this day. Try when I close my eyes, I see that place. I see that place. Even though the miles have grown, I can get there in my mind. Friends may come and go, but the memory is alive. I can remember a feeling so tender to this day. If I try, when I close my eyes, I see that place. I see that place. Though the house has fallen down, oh, the shadows never die. The ghosts are walking still. Couldn't sleep if they tried. Place it somewhere deep inside. Things that you want the most are the hardest things to buy. I can remember a feeling so tender to this day. If I try, when I close
cool stuff there from the Boone Howlers. That one is called Remember, and you're listening to it here. It's Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM. We are streaming on the web at kopn.org. That's a beautiful song, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Bunch of very, very well produced. I mean, I think you said there were some guest artists on that song. Is that right?
Yeah. So Craig Cleaver played the pedal steel, and then Mark Cover played keys for us. So it's tucked in the mix there, but we had a lot of fun with that. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, cool. Let's see. I got a new thing going here for Jim. Let's see if this works. Jim, try that mic.
Yeah, can you hear me? It's coming in okay?
Yeah, way better.
Right.
Okay,
Good.
cool. Okay, so we've got about 20 minutes before we get to the top of the 5 o'clock hour. Plenty of time for live music here this afternoon. Appreciate y'all listening. It's 573-443-8255 if you want to join us. 573-443-7380 will get you here into the studio as well. But we're going to get a couple live ones here from the Boone Howlers. We'll talk with them a little bit more after that. And if you stick around after the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to get a nice long set of music from these gentlemen. And that's what we do every Saturday afternoon here on Open Mic Radio. Okay? Okay. Shout out to a couple people who have been sending notes and stuff. First of all, I want to say hi to the people in Chicago that are listening to the radio show and watching the Cardinals beat the Cubs. So you're probably better off listening to this radio show than watching that crap. Okay. Also, the Dive Bar, one of our sponsors. Thank you for sponsoring the program and the radio station. We appreciate it. We appreciate everyone who supports this radio station. It's an ongoing project, and always one foot in the grave, sort of. So KOPN's been like that for many, many years, and I appreciate the fact that we're still doing it. Also, shout out to my buddy Brian over there at Waltz VW. he's a regular listener of the show and fixes my car too. So okay. Also Denver, Chicago, Johnny, hi. Steve Hoffman, hi. Sorry if I said your last name. Yeah, post office coming for you. Who else? Lots of people out in Arizona. Okay. All right. Anyway, Boone Howlers with us this afternoon. They're going to play a couple for us here. What are you going to do, Chris?
So I think we'll do this first one's one we've written. It's called A Dream of Forest Rose. And it's not really about Forest Rose, but it mentions him.
Are you familiar, though, with the man? Were you?
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't get to town until after Forrest died. And,
yeah.
Or maybe he was still alive. I just hadn't connected back in the early 2000s or whatever. But just quickly, a little bit of your familiarity with him, because he's such a sort of a legend around here, and a lot of people say a lot of things about him, and he's involved in the music scene. And
so he was an interesting character, and really, Travis and I first saw him with a group called Monkey Grip. Yep. And there was a guy that was getting his doctorate over here at the time, Mick Lurman, who's an excellent guitar player. And we saw Monkey Grip. It was an upright bass, Forest Rose, and Mick on guitar, and a woman that played fiddle. And I never did meet her. But Forrest had this incredible upright bass, and it had this cobra head that was carved in the headstock. I mean, it was so cool. It was beautiful. Snake bass is what we always call it.
Yeah.
But just a little bit about Forrest, so this will make a little bit of sense. He went to school here, J School, and lived here for a while. He was like a doorman at the original Blue Note down on the Loop.
Right.
And he decided he wanted to try to make his way into music, and because he loved music, that was his main thing. He was a great writer, though, too. That's kind of how he made his living. But he moved to Nashville for a period. And he got a gig where he played for Bill Monroe.
Wow.
Yeah, so Bill Monroe was really hard on fiddle players, and he would fire them frequently.
Really?
And so his standard normal bass player could kind of fill in on fiddle, when he was looking for a different fiddle player. So
After he fired the last guy.
Yeah, there's sort of a temporary thing. So Forrest played with Bill Monroe for 2 weeks. On upright bass, and he lived with David Olney, or was friends with him. They recorded. David passed away a couple years ago, and David at one point lived with Steve Earle. They were roommates or buddies.
Wow.
Back in the day, the Guy Clark stuff.
Oh my gosh, huge fan.
Anyway, this song's called Dream of Forest Rose. Like I said, it mentions him. It's not really about him, but there's a couple references of things we just talked about. So if you want to hear that, we'll give it a try.
All right, let's do it. It's Dream of Forest Rose, Boone Howlers, Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia.
Night of forest rose, playing snake bass for Bill Monroe. Hillbilly angels gather round, hear that high, lonesome sound. I dreamed last night of Bobby D, young and strong like he used to be. Lines of worry did not show, for the whiskey took its hold. So many lives I have known, all these souls come and go. I dreamed last night of Cobra Joe, books full of poem and prose, shining bright on the Opry land, playing drums in a country band. So many lives I have known, all these souls come and go. I dreamed last night of forest rose, playing snake bass for Bill Monroe. Hillbilly angels gather round, hear that high, lonesome sound. So many lives I have known, all these souls come and go. So many lives I have known, all these souls come and go.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Very, very cool. All right, the Boone Howlers with us this afternoon, and yeah, you're listening to it here. It's Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia. Hope you're enjoying the program. I certainly am, and we've got a bunch of music coming up for you in the next hour, okay? All right, let me quickly say that this program is brought to you in part by KMOS, taking television beyond the living room with their PBS app and KMOS Passport. Classics like Room Pull of the Bailey, Riley Ace of Spies, and The Rivals of Sherlock Holmes, along with new episodes of Celebrity Antiques Road Trip, are available anytime, anywhere, on any device. More information available at kmos.org or on your mobile app store. All right, appreciate the support from KMOS. And you're listening to it here, Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia. The Boone Howlers with us in the studio this afternoon. They're rocking and rolling and jamming out, and we're going to have some more from them. Well, I guess I'm gonna wait to do more music and ask you guys a couple of questions. Travis, grab that mic there. And I'm going to start with you and ask about recording music. Well, maybe songwriting first before we talk about recording. You guys have a bunch of material that's obviously that you've been in the studio. You've been working for a long time together. Can you tell us a little bit about where when you write a song, is it a collaborative effort, or is there a primary songwriter? Do you do it all together? A little bit about that. Anybody?
So a lot of the stuff, there were a couple songs like maybe Travis and I had worked on in the past, like Fades Away. Mm-hmm. And I'd kind of have part of it, and then he would maybe help with a little bit of it, and vice versa. A lot of the stuff that we've recorded, either Jim wrote or I wrote or the two of us wrote. We're going to do a couple of songs today in our rockabilly sort of set, and like Sack Full of Dice. It was a song.
That's a great song.
I was like, we were playing some board games, and someone was worried about, are we going to have enough, dice to play the game? And the one guy's like, oh, don't worry, I got sacks and dice. I said, that's a song. So, I wrote the lyrics to it. I wrote it probably, 15 minutes. Another one that I wrote that Travis likes is called A Corner of Lonesome Blue. And I had the idea or the concept for a number of years, and I could just never really figure out kind of how to do it. And again, we're self-taught, so, it's just us. We don't really have anyone showing us anything. But once I kind of figured out how to do
Sometimes that's the best way, by the way. So,
but, once I kind of figured out, I could do it like this, then I wrote that song with the melody in probably, 15, 20 minutes, Now, we probably did some things to smooth it out, but, sometimes
the general
like that.
layout of the song.
Bounce the ideas and lyrics off of one another, and, ask each other, hey, what do you think about this or that? And so we'll help each other kind of hone the song out. But for me, some of my songs like Honey Ridge, like I said before, I run quite a bit. So Honey Ridge is actually the street right near my parents' house. And one day I was going for a run, and the street was Honey Ridge, and started to pull together the lyrics to a song while I was running there. And then other songs have been a couple songs I wrote. My wife probably doesn't really realize it, but I wrote for my wife. Short and Sweet was one of them, and Anniversary Gift is another one. So when we our 20th anniversary, I wrote her that song. I think it's on the Remember EP. But Chris always liked to say that's one of the most inexpensive gifts that you can get for you.
He didn't buy anything for you; he just wrote that song.
Well, again, those are sometimes the best gifts, right? Those ones that come from the heart. Okay, so. We talked a little bit about recording. I know you've done some stuff with Will in town. Is that typically who you would go to if you guys are going to record? Would you do it at Centro?
So everything that we recorded there. Travis and I years ago recorded with Barry Hibden. You remember that down the bottom of the
I remember Barry,
Yeah, Barry's still around.
Yeah.
He was in Ditch Witch.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and he worked down at not a Ragtag, but I guess the place that's connected to Ragtag for a long time, right?
Uprise Bakery, bar there.
Yeah.
But most of everything that's online right now, we recorded with Will.
Okay, and the two albums that you brought into the station, which I appreciate. First of all, we've got the Boone Howlers Exist. I think that was the first record that you guys did, and then Wander. In fact, I'm familiar with the first record, but the second one I'm actually not so much.
Yeah.
When did you guys do Wander?
It was a couple years later. I think it was 2017.
Okay.
We recorded those tunes. And that's with, as I mentioned before, with Mark Cover, Craig Kluger. I think Martha
Kelly played some fiddle for us.
So we had some guest musicians on that album, which is really fun to collaborate with some of those people.
But the first one Exists, that was the first time we really recorded in a proper studio with more musicians, and we pretty much did those all in kind of one or two takes. And I kind of wanted, at the time I was reading a lot about like Sun Records, and I wanted that sort of vibe to it. And
just that authenticity of the just a couple quick takes and get it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Like That's All Right Mama. They just were goofing around, and it's rock and roll.
Right.
That was the beginning.
Yeah, I love it.
So we did that, and then the second album we spent a little more time doing some overdubs, getting some other people in, making a bit more, and we learned along the way. Things to do and not do. Will was very, very helpful in that regard. The the role of a producer to some degree is underestimated, but they can really help in a lot of ways. Sam Phillips, for example, with Elvis, wasn't a technical guy, but he had good feel.
And he had a great ear. Yeah,
Right.
just could hear it.
You know, the old story is they were goofing around. They couldn't get anything down. They were taking a break, and Bill Black, the bass player, and Elvis, they just started goofing, and they were doing "That's All Right, Mom," this kind of ramped up version. And Phillips comes out and he's like, "Whoa, what was that?" He goes, "Oh, nothing. We were just goofing around." He goes,
Right.
"We'll just keep doing it."
Keep goofing around.
So they
yeah.
did 2 or 3 more takes of it, and you know, that was the beginning.
Wow.
That was the beginning.
Amazing.
Yeah, I should mention too. Some of the songs we were recording. I always it's part of my my musical background history was a lot of holiday music. So that's pretty much all my parents had in their record collection. So it might be the middle of July, and I'm pulling out these
Now that is
Christmas tunes, holiday tunes. 'Cause I
dude,
have nothing to listen
you have no idea how I relate. Okay, so my father passed away a couple years ago, and he was a huge audiophile, and he had a. In fact, I'm still going through his collection. I've made it through the albums for the most part. He had about 7,500, about 7,000 LPs.
Wow.
That, I ended up keeping about 3,000. I sold and donated a lot of them. Just wasn't. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Trust me, back then that nobody wants. but
The Christmas music.
the Christmas collection that my dad. I mean, I have most of it. I mean, there's probably 150 records, I think, that are just Christmas holiday music, and it's outstanding. And I love it.
And yeah, we've recorded several original holiday, Christmas tunes. And
You
so we'll
guys should
have to
do an
let's come
album.
back here in December.
Nobody does a holiday album anymore. You should do a Christmas holiday album. That'd be incredible. The Boone Howlers Christmas or something incredible.
right.
Just like old Johnny Cash
Right.
Christmas, man. Right?
Well, and you're talking about that. There was a great documentary on Christmas music, and these guys were nuts about collecting it, and certain versions and different things, and it was incredible. But they were just there
like,
was so
yeah,
much sentimental, things
my
attached
gosh,
to it.
absolutely.
So.
No, I mean, I still hear Vic Damone singing "Deck the Halls" or whatever, and it just it takes me right back to being a kid or something.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, and that's what music can do, and that's
Right.
why we're all here. That's why we all love it so much. I think.
Yeah.
It is. It's a beautiful, wonderful art form that we all get to enjoy, whether we're performing it or whether we're listening to it, or whatever. And I'm always sort of heartbroken by people that don't get into music, or they're just not, like, you ask somebody, hey, what kind of music do you like, or what are you into? I don't listen to music. I'm like, whoa! I mean, I almost like want to go, like, I just want to shake them, But
Right.
anyway, that's to each their own, right?
Well, even like Travis and I talk about that, it's even though we're not maybe the best musicians, I tell you one thing it's really done is made us appreciate music that much more, and you really become more. You have a deeper understanding, of
for
like
sure.
some of the things. Like I can go on and on about the Beatles and the stuff they
Oh
did.
my! Can you even believe what those guys did? Honestly, really, to this day. I mean, it's been 60 years now.
We
70
did a
years.
thing at, I think it was Rose at the time.
Rose, yeah.
Yeah, but we we talked him into letting us play the album A Hard Day's Night, and so they showed the movie before.
Cool.
And then we played the album from front to back.
Oh,
and we
cool.
learned that album.
Wow.
And it probably wasn't, we're not like, a tribute band. It wasn't, but it was a lot of fun. And I'm telling you, those songs were so sophisticated.
Oh no, they're way.
Everyone says their music got more sophisticated. That's wrong. Hard Day's Night.
Wow.
You go learn that album.
I'm sort of a closet guitar player, or I'm not very good, and I like to play music, but I'm not very good at any of the things that I play. But I can play. But I can play relatively simple stuff, and we all know what we're talking about. It doesn't mean it's not a good song. In fact, some of the best songs. There's so many wonderful songs that are a couple, 3, 4 simple chords.
Right.
But the Beatles were not among them. Those songs are all hard. Even the ones that sound simple, I'm like, I could probably play that one, and then I try to figure it out. And I play mostly by ear because I can't read music or anything, but I got a pretty good ear, and it's just outside of my technical capability. I think a lot of the stuff that they do, I'm like, wow, what kind of chord was that? What the hell was he doing there? That just
Well, even
lost.
Dylan said, after they saw him, I think probably on Ed Sullivan, he was like, all those crazy chords.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah.
immediately understood what was going on there. Because, they open up with All My Lovin'. Those crazy triplets. And
Oh yeah,
it's a great song.
And if you for a person who's not really listening for that kind of stuff, it doesn't sound that difficult.
It's not as rich. It's not as deep.
You know,
for
but
sure.
it's
Yeah.
those guys were for real, no doubt about
yeah.
it. Yeah. All right, look, we are about top of the hour here, and it's Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM, having a wonderful conversation and live music with our friends, the Boone Howlers in the studio and the station this afternoon. And you guys, thanks again for coming. This is awesome.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, let's do some live music. Let's see, we've got. We're top of the hour, and what I'd like to do is kind of set these guys loose and let them play for 30 minutes or so, and kind of do whatever you want, and then we'll come back, chat a little bit more, and we'll kind of get out of here. What do you think?
Okay, we might just kind of. You want to? Well, let's do. We're going to do this old public domain song. It's called "All the Good Times."
Cool.
Just we try to do stuff that was fairly current. I think this was written in the 1700s, right, or something like that. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's the Boone Howlers.
All the good times are past and gone, and all the good times are o'er. So all the good times are past and gone. Little darling, don't weep no more. Wish to the Lord I'd never been born, or died when I was young. Never would have seen your sparkling blue eyes, heard your lying tongue. All the good times are past and gone, and all the good times are o'er. 'Cause all the good times are past and gone. Darling, don't weep no more. All the good times are past and gone. All the good times are o'er. So all the good times are past and gone. Darling, don't weep no more. Don't you see that turtle dove flies from pine to pine? He's mourning for his own true love, just like I'm mourning for mine. All the good times are past and gone. All the good times are o'er. So all the good times are past and gone. Darling, don't weep no more. All the good times are past and gone. All the good times are o'er. So all the good times are past and gone. Darling, don't weep no more. Back, come back, my own true love. Stay a while with me. If ever I had a friend in this world, you've been that friend to me. 'Cause all the good times are past and gone. All the good times are o'er. 'Cause all the good times are past and gone. Darling, don't weep no more. All the good times are past and gone. All the good times are o'er. 'Cause all the good times are past and gone. Well, darling, don't weep no more. All right. That's not rock and roll. I don't know what is. We're going to switch up and do some rockabilly stuff that we've written, all right?
Fantastic.
We'll see how this sounds. It wants to keep rolling, right?
Yeah, that's not at all. Let me tell people what they got going here. It's Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia. We've got live music with the Boone Howlers this afternoon. They're playing a nice set of music for us here. We're just going to let them keep it going and switching over to a little bit of rockabilly stuff here. Okay. All right. Once again, on the web, kopn.org. And for me, it's Mike Hagan. All right, check it out.
All right, let's get a little sound on this. So make sure we got that. Can you hear the lead okay? You good, Trev?
What are we doing?
Let's do Learn to Be Nice. This is a song that we've written. It's one I was talking about. We kind of wrote it in about 4 or 5 minutes. Turn that bass up a little bit. There you go, son. That's it. Nice. Never can have enough bass.
No.
1, 2. Little something wanna say to you about treating me better, baby, than you do. Heard the talk all around town. Come over here and sit right down. Listen fast. You wanna fight? Come on, baby, now let it be nice. The way you play it just ain't right. Home all day and out all night. Need to read or go to school. Understand that golden rule. Listen fast. You wanna fight? Come on, baby, now let it be nice. Listen, babe, I got something to say. Just can't stand the way you play. Give you no reason to mess around. When I ask you, you won't make a sound. Well, little talk, it's almost done. If you can't change it, baby, I'll be gone. Hope you hear just what I say. Toe the line, gotta learn to play. Listen fast, don't wanna fight. Come on, baby, now learn to be nice. Listen fast, don't wanna fight. Come on, baby, now learn to be nice. Listen fast, don't wanna fight. Come on, baby, now learn to be nice. Wow, let's come on home.
Gotcha. So there's no. There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Been waiting all night for you to roll in. Come on, pretty baby, tell me where you been. You don't send me no page, you don't send me no text. There ain't no telling where you wind up next. Or you must think I'm a fool for you. Keep me up until 1:45. So come home, come back to me. It's late, Don't you see that I'll never ask you to leave? That's a crying shame the way you treat me. Here we go. There ain't nothing you can do to make me stop loving you. I know you so well, hon, I can't tell. You'll be back sooner or later. Boy, you can set me straight, but I'll set you straighter. I can hold on another minute or two. Any longer than that, I'm coming for you. So come home, come back to me. It's late, don't you see that I'll never ask you to leave? That's a crying shame the way you treat me. Come home, come back to me. It's late, don't you see that I'll never ask you to leave? That's a crying shame the way you treat me. Oh, it's a crying shame the way you treat me. That's a crying shame the way you treat me.
Thank you.
You are listening to live music on KOPN Columbia. It's the Boone Howlers, and we're just letting them roll here for a little bit here. We're going to get right back to it here. It's Open Mic Radio, KOPN. Find us on the web, kopn.org. Anything you want to do, guys?
All right, we're going to do one we were talking about earlier. You know, we're kind of in that roots thing, and I think this is where it kind of all started, right?
That's all right, Mama. That's all right for you. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do. Mama, she done told me. Papa done told me too. Son, that gal you're messing with ain't no good for you. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do. All right, Scotty. I'm leaving town, my baby. I'm leaving town for sure. Then you won't be bothered with me hanging round your door. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do. One more time, Scott. That's all right, Mama. That's all right for you. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. All right, this is one we've written. It's called Juke Coin. Juke Coin.
Deadly a place on the edge of town. Starts to jump when the sun goes down. Swinging the place where the hipcats go. Tunes are hot and the beer is cold. Yeah, juke on. Sound is right. Juke on. Gonna get tight. Juke on. I'll spend my money tonight. Spend my money tonight. Spend my money tonight. Saturday night and the band's around, laying down a real crusade. Green bed, the swinging groove, get the whole house to move. Yeah, juke on, sound is right. Juke on, gonna get tight. Juke on, I'll spend my money tonight. Spend my money tonight. Spend my money tonight. Wildfire blazing when they hit those strings. Everyone in town wants to hear them sing. Kicking up the heels on the wooden floorboard. Never come alive with this rockabilly cold jam. Juke on, sound is right. Juke on, gonna get tight. Juke on, I'll spend my money tonight. Spend my money tonight. Spend my money tonight. Sunday morning and the band is done, going home with the rising sun. That crowd won't soon forget rocking sounds of the two old jets. Juke on, sound is right. Juke on, gonna get tired. Juke on, and I'll spend my money tonight. Spend my money tonight. Spend my money tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that scissor kick.
You guys are missing it here. I mean, you're listening on the radio, but we need the video to see all the flying scissor kicks. So, hey, gentlemen, before you continue, I want to ask you a quick question
Sure.
about Deke Dickerson. Jim Jammin there reminded me of Deke, and he's a local, actually remarkable, awesome musician who's been actually made quite a bit of a name for himself around the world. So, are you guys familiar? Or
Oh, sure.
I'm sure, right?
We got about 20 minutes. I can tell you all the Deke stories.
Tell me one.
Well, I'll tell you. So we played "That's All Right, Mama," and well, first Deke had a show on the station when he was 14.
He was here on KOPN years ago. Yeah.
He, I think we're about the same age, right? So I think he graduated high school in '86. Anyway, you know, he just loved that rockabilly. He loved that old twang, and got really into it. Started a band called the Untamed Youth with Steve Mace, Steve Rager playing keyboards.
Okay.
Had various drummers over the years, but they still play. You know, they still do that. They moved out to L.A. or out west, and you know, it was hard. No one, you know, that at that time rockabilly or that kind of thing was not really that popular. It's kind of pre-Pulp Fiction. I always thought if they were a couple years later, they probably would have hit a little more.
Yeah, I can see that.
But he's a great guitar player, and he got to be friends with Scotty Moore. And when Scotty Moore, while he was still alive, you know, who's Elvis's original guitar player, he was selling his stuff off because, you know, he knew it was kind of the end of the road, and he sold his main amp that he used to use when he played with Elvis. I'm sure he got quite a bit of money out of it. But he called Deke and he said, "I'm going to sell my backup amp, my number 2 amp, and I want you to have it."
No kidding.
Because he thought that much of Deke, and he knew that Deke would carry on.
I mean, actually, yeah. Do it justice, right?
Right. So here's a kid from Columbia, Missouri. He's buddies with Scotty Moore.
Incredible.
As Keith Richards said, everyone wanted to be Elvis. I wanted to be Scotty. You know, I mean, that's pretty cool, right? So he's written a couple of great books, Strat in the Attic.
Yeah.
Get those. They're fantastic.
Very, very cool. All right. Yes, absolutely cool.
Let's do Sack Full of Dice first.
Sack Full of Dice?
Do the cover first.
Sack Full of Dice. That's a great one. Yeah. We've got the Hootin' Howlers. The Boone Howlers with us in the studio this afternoon. All right. Travis, Chris, and Jim, appreciate you guys coming down. This is awesome, and I'm getting a bunch of. If you can see my phone, I get a bunch of notes, and people are really enjoying it. So thanks, and it sounds good coming over the waves right now, apparently. So
Excellent.
Memphis has been out in his car. He listens out there to make sure things sound okay. So I know we're doing good, and. Where are we? We've got we're about 20 minutes after the hour. We're going to jam for another 15 or so with the Boone Howlers, and we'll come back, chat a little bit more, and hand things off to Ross Shumba, a reggae party, 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock, the best in roots rock reggae right here on KOPN. And don't forget Chris and Blues on Broadway, 8 to 11. Awesome stuff all night tonight, and stick around, okay? KOPN on the web, kopn.org. This is Open Mic Radio, and for me, it's MikeHagan.com. It's Hagan, and if you want to get a copy of these programs, they're all there, and they're all free, and you can download them and share them with your friends, and if you want to download the podcast or subscribe or whatever that is they call it, whatever you do with that stuff, you can do it, and then the thing just magically appears in your podcast player about a month after I do the show because I'm so lame at putting them up there on the internet. So, actually, that's not true. I'm usually it takes me a couple days, but I'll have this show up on the web by Tuesday or Wednesday, okay? Okay, back to the Boone Howlers. What do you want to do, Chris?
We're going to do a song we talked about earlier. It's called Sack Full of Dice. As they say, this one sort of wrote itself.
Love it.
Got a sack full of dice and I'm ready to roll. Shake 'em up, honey, now give 'em a throw. Take all night, have some fun.
your hands now, shake and toss. Nothing gained, well, there's nothing lost. So many ways to play the game. Shake 'em up, toss 'em, well, it's all the same. Let's roll, let's roll. Got a sack full of dice and I'm ready to roll.
Let's roll! Take it again, Chris.
Grab 'em up, honey, now, don't make a fuss. We gonna make a little bit of love. When we're done, well, we'll start again. No matter how you play, we always gonna win. Let's roll, let's roll. Got a sack full of dice and I'm ready to roll.
Take us on out now.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Let's do, you want to do a cover? Let's do, we were talking about, you want to do Honky Tonk Man?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one for you. We're going to do the Johnny,
Is that a Dwight song? Or
no,
who wrote that?
Johnny Horton.
Johnny Horton.
Johnny
wrote
Horton.
that. And Dwight Yoakam covered that, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And a little thing about the Johnny Horton version, Bill Black played bass, which Bill was the original bass player for Elvis.
Yeah.
So
A lot
this
of Elvis
is,
stuff going on today.
it's just going to go to the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a honky tonk man, and I can't seem to stop. Love to get the girls around, music of an old jukebox, and when my minds are gone, the telephone singing, hey, hey, mama, can your daddy come home? Well, I live wild and dangerously. I got plenty of company. Comes up when the sun goes down. Can't wait to lay the money down. 'Cause I'm a honky tonk, and I can't seem to stop. Love to get the guys around, music of an old jukebox.
Hey, hey, mama, can you daddy come home?
I'm a honky tonk man, and I can't seem to stop. Love to get the guys around, music of an old jukebox, and when my mothers are gone, telephone sing, hey, hey, mama, can your daddy come home? Well, pretty little girl in a jug of wine, that's what it takes to make a honky tonk time. Jukebox moaning those honky tonk sounds, I can't wait to lay my money down. 'Cause I'm a honky tonk, and I can't seem to stop. Love to get the girls around, music of an old jukebox, and when my minds are gone,
Hey, hey, mama, can your daddy come home?
let's do. We're gonna do Nothing Left. That guitar.
Nothing Left.
So this one's called Nothing Left. It's another original Boone Howlers tune that we wrote. This is actually the first song off of our first album.
All right, Nothing Left.
My heart is broke. Now it's over. Nothing left for you or me. I'm moving on. Bag on my shoulder. Yeah, the dream shed a piece of history. Nothing worse than holding on to something. Wasn't there from the start. I tried making something out of nothing. Yeah, and nothing's all I got for my part. My heart is broke. Now it's over. Nothing left for you or me. I'm moving on. Bag on my shoulder. Yeah, the dream said a piece of history. The words he said, well, they had all betrayed me. Left me with no choice but to leave. Now the lightning strikes around me, and the storm winds are ripped through the leaves. Woo! My heart is broke. Now it's over. Nothing left for you or me. I'm moving on. Bag on the shoulder. Yeah, the dream shared a piece of history. The candle I left it in the window. Burned the whole house to the ground. Now I'm left here with the ashes and the memories of you that bring me down. My heart is broke. Now it's over. Nothing left for you or me. I'm moving on. Bag on my shoulder. Yeah, the dream shared a piece of history. Well, the dream shared a piece of history.
Yeah. Woo.
Thank you.
I love it. The Boone Howlers this afternoon here live in the studio, KOPN Columbia. Awesome stuff, you guys. Thanks. Incredible. I love it. I love doing this radio program because I get like these. We get these private concerts every Saturday afternoon, and that is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. The Boone Howlers. All right, if people want to get a hold of you and they want you to come and play at the party or at the bar or at their gig, wherever, what's the best way to get in touch, you guys?
Really, Facebook seems to work the most. We've got a Facebook page.
Okay.
You can message us there. We've also got a website with an email address, but Facebook works the best.
All right, but there is, I think, boonehowler.com.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, we've got. I'm sorry. Yeah, we do have a website too.
Yeah, and you're on Instagram and on
Yeah,
Spotify
Instagram,
and all
yeah.
that stuff. If you,
Yeah, you can listen to
Right.
all the. We put out 2 albums and 2 EPs, and then the Christmas stuff. So that's all out there on Spotify or iTunes or wherever you stream.
Should we? I know there were a couple recorded ones that you guys were thinking about playing. Should we play? We got time if you want to do another one.
Yeah.
If you want
Do
to
a
do a
recorded one?
recorded one, if you got, I mean, if not, no big deal.
Sure.
But if you want, we could do it.
Let's do Lonesome and Blue. Pull that up.
My favorite.
Yeah, it's Travis's favorite, so we got to do it.
Okay. Well, I gotta ask Travis then first why. If you grab that microphone, please. Why is it your favorite? And tell me a little bit about the song.
I just think it's probably one of the better written songs, one of the better well thought out songs, and the music just attaches to it like a glove. It's just great.
What's the name of the song?
Lonesome and Blue.
How come I can't find it?
Or is it the corner of Lonesome and Blue, actually?
It's Lonesome and Blue. It's off the Boone Howlers Exist album.
Oh, all right. Let's see here if I can. The discography.
And this is one I was talking about earlier.
It reminds
that,
me of Dick Van Dyke. Reminds me of Leroy Van Dyke a little bit. You know, just kind of that era.
Yeah. Yeah.
That era of golden classic country music.
I got it. Yeah.
So Leroy's from our part of the country, so we got to
Yeah.
reference him. Shout out to Leroy.
All right, cool. So Lonesome and Blue, this is off of the Boone Howlers Exist record, which was 2015?
15, that's
yeah,
right.
2015. All right, cool. Check it out. We'll come back and have a little bit more conversation with the band before we roll things out of here. And, yeah, check it out. Lonesome and Blue, Boone Howlers. It's Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia.
It's been a while, haven't seen you around. You don't make it to my side of town. I've been living someplace new. Over on the corner of Lonesome and Blue. I haven't changed since you left me. Same old boy I used to be. There's not a day I don't miss you. Over on the corner of Lonesome and Blue. You had to leave. I don't understand. Could you find another man? Nights are long, nothing to do. Over on the corner, Lonesome and Blue. Lonesome and Blue. That's where I stay. I moved in when you walked away. If ever there comes a time, think of me and change your mind. Bring your love and help me move from the corner of Lonesome and Blue.
Lonesome and Blue, bending the B string or the B note, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Bend in the B. We'll just call it that, right?
On that particular song, we use this. I've got a Nashville Telecaster, Nashville Deluxe, and it's a B bender.
Okay.
And it's made by. It's actually made by Fender these days, but the history of the B bender is it was used in the Byrds, Clarence White. Mm-hmm. And they made it, and they had a B bend.
I mean, like, and also like all kinds of remarkable players in the Byrds over the days, right? I mean, it was Jimmy Page, and I think Jeff Beck played for them for a time, and
one
Clapton maybe.
One of the founding members of the Byrds is from Tipton, Missouri, Gene Clark. He wrote 8 Miles High.
Memphis Chris shaking his head or nodding his head in agreement. Yeah, cool.
So they made that, and now the original B-bender is owned by Marty Stewart.
Really?
And if you see him with this old beat-up Telecaster,
no kidding.
That's what it is.
That's like
so it's
the
really
original.
Cool. Yeah, wow. Marty's man, he's just a super hip guy, right?
Comes through here once in a while.
Oh, and I've got to say, if you get a chance to see that band, that's maybe one of the best bands with Kenny Vaughan on guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Scruggs, Earl Scruggs' grandson's on upright bass and plays lap and
not the banjo, interestingly enough.
Yeah,
but
that's right. He does everything else. He's very good bass player, very good pedal. Yeah. I saw him with Asleep at the Wheel was here. He sat in and played lap seal for him.
Sweet. You know, I didn't really. Sometimes we'll go through and tell people what's happening tonight, tomorrow, or whatever in town. And if you've got a gig or if you're playing tonight, or sometime this upcoming week, have a great show. And I apologize for not promoting it. But if you have something that's important, give us a call here, 443-8255. I say it every week, and there's probably 10 people that probably called, and I didn't even see it because it's very difficult to see the phone if you're doing this thing. But at any rate. If you got something going on, do it. Have fun. All right? And give us a call.
Support live music.
Support live music. Absolutely. And I sure appreciate the people that do and the venues that do. And we're COVID was a son of a gun for everybody, and it had a pretty significant effect here in Columbia, actually, and in the mid-Missouri in general. But we're bouncing back now. A bunch of new little venues popping up here and there. Yeah. This arcade district thing is real cool.
We're going to play Cooper's next Saturday.
I was on my list is upcoming shows or whatever. Maybe we talk about that now. So you've got a show coming up at Cooper's next week?
Yeah, Cooper's next week, Saturday afternoon, 2 to 5.
Awesome.
Thinking we might.
That's so much fun down there by the river. That is just awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, right there by the river. It's nice. Shade. It's a great place.
Richard and the gang have done a great job down there since they've taken it over, and it's a hard thing for me to say, to be frank.
Yeah,
but I like seeing what's going on down there, and now all we need is a big giant parking lot and a better road. But people are like, no, we want to keep it the way it is. Right? So.
Well, I'll tell you, when Richard's involved, it's cool. He's always been involved in cool
I'll tell you what,
things.
there's no question about what that man has done for the music scene here in Missouri. Yeah. Absolutely not, and absolutely tip of the hat, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Quick for the gearhead folks, a lot of people like to know what kind of instruments you're playing, if you have a foot pedal set up, what kind of amp you might be playing. We don't have a whole lot of time, but if you want to, I like the bass setup because people don't think about that, but as often as like guitar. But Travis has a pretty cool bass setup here, so maybe Travis, you could give us a little update on what you're doing there.
This is the Fender Highway 1. I think it's actually 2008. I think I told you wrong, 2010. I think I bought it in 2008.
Okay.
But it's the original design of the original first year P bass. So super light, it's toned for days. It's got the offset pickups. I'm running a little EQ boost back here off the amp, but just kind of give it that little extra punch, instead of sounding all. Got a nice little punch to it, so
I love it.
It cuts through all the stuff that those guys are doing anyway. So.
Well, you got to be able to do that.
You got to get through there somehow, right?
What you've got a pretty a good size cabinet there with a speaker and an amp. That's
the PV115 combo. It's pretty industry standard for basses just anywhere.
Yeah.
What I really like to do is play my acoustic guitar through it. It gives it a wonderful tone.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah. All right. Tip there for acoustic guitar players: play it through your PV bass amp.
That's correct.
Right on. Okay.
Tell
Cool.
him about the mandolin. It's his mandolin.
Oh, all right. So Chris is
Oh,
playing
man.
Travis.
So I had
And if
a.
you weren't listening earlier in the program, Travis
had-
is a multi-instrumentalist who plays pretty much everything with strings. So,
Yeah. Mediocrely, but I do. Not well.
jack
but
of
I
all
do.
strings.
Yeah.
So I was. I have a Fender mandolin with some pickups in it. I've had it for years, and I think it actually got kind of compressed in travel somewhere, and it broke right at the F holes, and my luthier just can't keep it together.
Broke at the F holes.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Always.
Chris, write that. Chris,
It's my life story.
Yeah.
Write that down. That's a different song.
That's a song,
The
Travis.
monkey got that one.
Yeah, broke.
Broken the
There
F.
really,
wrote
you
it
guys, make a note. There really is a
There's
song
a
there.
song
Broke
in
at the
there.
F holes. I'm sorry.
So I was desperate for a new mandolin, and I went to my local guitar store, Backwoods Guitar in Sedalia, Missouri, by the way.
Okay, Memphis, and
Fabulous
then,
guitar store.
once again, the nod of approval.
Highly recommend going in there. Aaron, the luthier there, my guitar guy, I told him I needed a mandolin. He goes, "Well, there's one on the wall. I just got it in." And this is this mandolin that Chris is holding is as old as I am. I'm not going to tell you what that number is, but it's as old as I am.
Okay.
It's
all right.
55 plus years old, and had hardly been played. It's a Harmony Batwing. Chris, if you hold that up, you see the top of the headstock is shaped like a batwing.
Wow,
and
cool.
Then
That's
that
right.
that batwing
That
is
is very
repeated
cool.
at the neck of the guitar as well. And that is the pickup in that, I can't remember the exact name of it, but the gold pickup has some significance as well. I just can't remember what it is right now, but yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful instrument, and I love playing it. So.
Very cool. All right.
So then the acoustic guitar is just it's a Taylor GA4. That's what I use mostly. It's my
Okay.
trigger.
All right.
Then the amp, we're just running straight amp. It's a Princeton. I think it's a reissue, but it's got a nice tone. And then we've been using a Jim's Gretsch for that.
Gretsch 5120.
Well,
A couple years.
that's one that everyone's the people who have actually been walking through the station this afternoon. That's the one that people's eyes have been drawn towards, certainly.
Man,
So
the hot rod red, yeah. Great color to it, great sound. The action is really nice on it. And then the banjo I've been playing is a Deering Deluxe. And actually, Chris and I went down about 10 years ago. Took a trip down to Morgan Music in Lebanon and went around, picked a bunch of banjos, and came up with the one that I could afford. So.
Well, look, banjos and mandolins, you may not realize it, but they're so expensive, So, good banjo, $5,000-6,000.
Are
good
you
mandolins,
really? That
$5,000
level?
$6,000 handmade.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, Morgan Music
Well,
has gotten a lot of my money over the years.
I-
That's where I bought the B-Bender and.
Yeah.
One that I passed on was they had a banjo with Christmas holly inlays in the neck, and that was $14,000. That was 10 years ago.
I think it's a mistake. I think
My
you should
gosh.
I would tell you how much I paid for the mandolin, but I think my wife's listening.
Oh, speaking of people that are listening, I have to shout out to. Hold on, quickly here. Chris Poirier, who does Blues on Broadway, 8 to 11 tonight. The guys out in Roachport. All right, the couple guys get together and listen every weekend in Roachport. Hi, you guys. Ron, Bruce, love you. Paul Meyer, who's actually played with you guys in the past. Paul's listening, and he actually plays bass for a band called the Rolling Stops, and they do some fun stuff around these parts. So check out the Rolling Stops.
That's a great name.
Isn't that a great name?
It's like we were talking about Forrest Rose, man. He was in the best bands: Monkey Grip, Sins of the Pioneers, the Rank Sinatras,
Sins of the Pioneers,
the
fantastic.
Boone County Hams.
Oh yeah, I remember Boone County Ham. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we've got some
you
great
not like
folks
that
out
guy?
there. So appreciate y'all listening, and check out all the wonderful music around town here. I mean, we got such a great scene, and we haven't talked much about what it's like to be in the music scene here in mid-Missouri, in Columbia, wherever. What's it like? You guys have been doing it for 12, 15 years. I mean, is it a cool place to play music, or?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, live music is just not like it was 20 years ago or when we were growing up. So it's different, but I think we get to play a lot of different kinds of music here. We don't really get outside of Columbia,
Yeah.
but the kind of stuff that we like, this community likes. And there's such a rich history of music associated with this town. You know, like when, Big Star had their reunion. You know, it was here on campus.
Yeah, they used to do like the New Year's Eve show at the Blue Note or whatever. Or maybe that was Big Smith.
Big Smith.
Yeah.
Big Star is
Big
Alex
Smith.
Chilton.
Yeah.
You know, they did that reunion show years ago.
Chilton, Alex Chilton. Yeah.
You know, let's see. The last Husker Du show was in Columbia at the Blue
Columbia?
Note,
Yeah.
and the first Sugar show was in Columbia. I didn't realize that till I read that Bob Mould.
Dang.
Yeah. So you know, there's a lot of history with this place.
I love it. All right. Well, look, you guys, we are approaching that time, so let's get one more from you, and then get ready to say toodaloo to these folks. But I sure appreciate you coming down this afternoon. We know you've got a show coming up. Is it on the 11th or is it next weekend?
It's next weekend.
Next weekend at down at Cooper's Landing, down by the river. That's 2 to 5, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, if you haven't been down to Cooper's Landing, just go down there. It's just so awesome. And if you have, I don't have to say anything to you. But if you haven't, it's really a place that you should check out if you're living around.
And they got great
in
people
these
there.
parts. Good
They
people.
do great sound.
Just a good bunch of folks hanging out down there. And there's usually a food truck or something.
A
And,
couple of them.
and just good vibe for sure. So. All right. Anything else you want to mention? You got anything else coming up after that? Yes, but
Definitely, the best thing to do is just.
all right, these
get
microphones,
on mic
right?
here, yes, the best thing to do is just check out our Facebook page.
And the
we'll
website.
be at D&D Pub and Grub in August. We got a couple in September. I think we mentioned the Heritage Festival in late September.
Cool. I love the Heritage
The
Festival.
end of the month.
Yeah.
We'll be back at Cooper's. The very last day, September 30th, we'll be out at Cooper's too. So.
All right. Talk to Jim if you want to know what's going on, right?
That's right.
All right. Sounds good. The Boone Howlers. I love you guys. It's awesome. Thank you for coming down this afternoon. Let's do another one, and then we'll move along, all right?
Well, we're going to do a cover for you. It's the first song I learned on mandolin, probably
Yep.
the first song you
Mine
learned
too.
on mandolin.
That's right.
And the guy that wrote it because everyone
the
told him he
first
used
song
to
he learned on the mandolin.
Open Mic Radio, KOPN.
My name's John Lee Pettymore, same as my dad and his daddy before. Hardly ever saw Granddaddy down here. Only come town about twice a year. Buy 100 pound of yeast and some copper line. Everybody knew that he made moonshine. Well, the revenue man wanted Granddaddy bad, headed up a Hollywood, everything he had. For my time, but I've been told, never come back from Copperhead Road. Dad ran a whiskey in a big black Dodge, potting and an auction at the Mason Lodge. Johnson County Sheriff painted on the side, just a shot coat of primer and he looked inside. Well, him and my uncle tore that engine down, and I still remember that rumbling sound. Then the sheriff come around the middle of the night, heard mama cries, he something wasn't right. Headed down to Knoxville with the wiggly low, you can smell the whiskey burning down Copperhead Road. Ho! Volunteered for the army on my birthday. Wrap the white trash first round here anyway. Done 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. I come home with a brand new plan. Take seed from Colombia to Mexico. Landed at the holler down Copperhead Road. Now the DEA's got a chopper in the air. Now we got screaming like a house over there. Learned a thing or two from Charlie, don't you know? Better stay away from Copperhead Road. Thank you.
What a great way to wrap it up. I love that. I love Steve Earle. Love that cover. You guys sound fantastic. Thank you very much for coming this afternoon.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, man. Look forward to the show next Saturday afternoon down at Cooper's Landing. Check it out. All right. The Boone Howlers, they'll be down there. And I'll be down there. You can come down and buy me a beer. All right? And then I'll buy those guys a beer. Actually, they get it for free, I think, probably down
We're
there.
not going to tell them that.
Yeah, we don't tell them. Actually, they say they don't get it for free. That way they get extra ones from the people that buy them. All right, it's Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia. Thanks for coming around this afternoon. We appreciate y'all. And next week, what's next week? Who do I? Oh, I forget. I remember, but I don't. Anyway, it'll be fun. Come on back next week. And Boone Howlers, one more time, Jim, how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, Facebook, Boone Howlers Facebook is the easiest way to get a hold of us, but we also have our website as well, Boone Howlers.
All right, very cool. Boone Howlers, find them out there on the web. And, yeah, really cool stuff and a lot of fun, all right? You can find them certainly next weekend down at Cooper's Landing. You can find me here next weekend as well, 4 to 6 p.m. In fact, I'll be on the air half the time that those guys are playing, so
we'll be thinking about you.
Well, I'll be thinking about you too. So maybe we'll play a Boone Howler song right about the time you guys are going on the air. So
because it's more than radio, it's community radio.
It is community radio, right? That's right, and it's also Open Mic Radio, and you're listening to it here, KOPN Columbia 89.5 FM. We'll catch y'all round next time. All right, thanks again.
All right,
Thank you
thanks,
so
Mike.
much.
Great to hear. All right. Okay, you guys, next week, I forget what's happening, so you'll have to come and find out, and I'll find out about the same time as you, all right? And Memphis, appreciate you. Clark, great to see you. Stick around. Ross Shumba at a reggae party coming at you in a very, very short minute. And here's my buddy Kurt getting us out of here.
Thanks a lot. There you go. That was Open Mic Radio.